Hey everybody. Welcome to another episode of Wade Watches. I'm Wade and today I'm going to be talking about The Woman King, directed by Gina Prince Blythe, Blythewood and starring the great Viola Davis. I actually saw this last weekend, so I'm a bit late with this review. But once again, work is just work just got in the way. But I still remember my general thoughts on it, so it's all good. I'm going to talk about it briefly here because I'm actually will be on my way shortly to see yet another film, and you guys will find out what that is later. But for now, this video is all about the Woman King. The Woman King takes place in 1800s West Africa and focuses on the kingdom of Dahomey, where King Jesu, played by John Boyega, basically basically receives news of a threat to the kingdom, and in order to combat it, he enlists the help of a group of all female led warriors, led by Viola Davis's character, whose name Nineska, I think it's Nineska. Yeah, it kind of slips me. It has been a week, honestly, but I think it's Nadeska or something close to that. He enlists them to combat that threat, and we have our movie. So that's just the general gist of it. There's a bit more going on here. There's so Viola Davis might be, the lead, the star, the headliner, but the movie honestly focuses more on this new recruit to the homies, female led warriors, who it's the archetypal, kind of underdog story with her. She's very likable. You understand her motivation. You are rooting for her to, become a great warrior for reasons that I won't touch on, but like her motivation for wanting to be a part of the homies warrior tribe is very understandable. And in addition to that, you also have a few other characters that the film focuses on. It doesn't focus on literally every member of the warrior tribe, but it focuses on a great handful of them. And I like how they each have a little backstory. They each have their motivation for doing this, and they're all in some way or another different. They're all unique, and you understand why they're all fighting, why they all want to fight, why they all want to be a part of this fight. And they're all really likable characters. Viola Davis, I this is she's a relatively new actress, I believe, so I don't recall her name. Lashana Lynch's character, um John Boyega's character, like they're all likable, and they all have their motivations for wanting to be a part of this fight, for wanting to defend their kingdom and their homeland. So yeah, that part is pretty solid. That being said, I liked The Woman King, but I didn't love it. So for me, it's of the good but not great variety. Right now, all the marketing for the movie is like hyping up the fact that it has like a near perfect score on Rotten Tomatoes, 95%, I believe at the moment, 94, something like that. When it started out, when the first reviews for it dropped, it was a perfect 100, and the marketing was hyping that up. To me, it's just not on that level. There are some things that bog it down. The main criticism I have is that it is too, like, a bit too predictable and cliche. Without giving a lot of the plot away, I definitely got, some Seven Samurai vibes. Once again, I got that, definitely the cliche underdog story where, like, once things got started, I knew exactly how things were going to end. Like, I literally put the end together well before the climax got started. Like, I just piece the whole story together. So the story is nothing refreshing, honestly, and nothing that you haven't seen a million times before. And furthermore, that's fine. Like, you can tell the same old story, and still create a masterpiece or create a really great movie, because there's only a handful of stories that you can tell in general, to be honest. So you could tell the same old story and still be inventive and creative. But in this did it well, but just not in a great way. So I don't mean to make it sound like I really disliked the movie, because once again, I liked it, but I didn't love it. It just it just wasn't like this big masterpiece that the marketing is making it out to be, just because of the Rotten Tomatoes score. And that's fine. That's fine. Not every movie I see has to become an instant favorite for me. Like, if I go to the movie theater and I have an enjoyable experience and I like the movie and it's not a complete piece of crap or a total bomb, then I'm satisfied. And that's the case with the Woman King. I was satisfied by it. So yeah, yeah. Another thing apart from it being predictable is that the villains were just really poorly handled and underdeveloped. Honestly, Viola Davis. How many were there? There's two. There's two major villains in the film. One of which Viola Davis has a huge grudge against. She's always shouting his name whenever she comes into conflict with his tribe. Like, where is he? I have to fight him. All that stuff, but you never really, like, it's briefly explained in flashback, but you don't really see a lot of the villain himself. It seemed like he only had like all of what, 5 lines in the movie. um so Viola Davis explains why she hates him and why why he needs to be taken care of, but I didn't really see or hear much of anything from the villain himself. Yeah, he doesn't really say much and he doesn't really have a presence in the movie. And he's definitely the primary antagonist because that's the one Viola Davis has a personal grudge against. And the secondary villain, same thing. Like, once again, I totally understand why he's a big problem. He comes in and he pisses a lot of people off for a good reason, but once again, you don't really see much of him. He's like in all of like maybe 2 or 3 scenes where he's talking to people, goes away, shows up again, and yeah. So yeah, just kind of underdeveloped villains, but and the problem with that is that this film is all about this tribe, the Kingdom of Dahomey, preparing to take care of these villains once and for all, for so that their kingdom is free of threats. But you don't really get the sense that these guys are as ominous and as imposing as the characters in the movie are making it out to be, just because they're so underdeveloped and they barely have a presence in it. And that was kind of a problem for me. So yeah, but other than those two big things, other than it being very tropish, very very predictable, other than the villains being underdeveloped, I don't have a whole lot of complaints. Once again, good, not great. The action cinematography was pretty decent. It wasn't exceptional. There were a lot of like quick cuts and stuff like that, but it was still pretty kick ass and really engaging when it was going down. So that was very enjoyable. It's not like an action film through throughout. There are action sequences because once again, the majority of this movie focuses on this all female led group of warriors preparing themselves, training themselves, undergoing trials to be worthy of joining the group to defend the kingdom. So not like there's not like action throughout the entire movie, but when it goes down, it was pretty solid, pretty engaging. And I saw The Woman King in a Dolby Cinema theater, so the sound was just top notch, top notch. So yeah. And also on a personal note, as a black man who definitely loves empowering films, um this movie definitely checked off all the boxes on that. Could have used maybe a little bit more. I could have used, you know, maybe slightly more empowering scenes and moments. But for what I got, kick ass, really badass. I really felt it, and I walked out of that theater feeling proud to be black, feeling you know uh you know just commemorating those black women. So kick ass. I definitely think that little black girls and young black women will get a great message out of seeing this movie for sure. Absolutely. Could have been a little bit more empowering, but once again, maybe it's best not to go overboard. The focus was definitely more on trying to tell a story, and I guess I do respect that instead of them, like being all up in your face about it. So yeah, for sure, for sure. So yeah, final rating for The Woman King, I give it just a 7 out of 10. It was good, not great. It didn't take my breath away. It wasn't, an exceptional movie just because the story was a bit predictable. The villains who are the big threat are very underdeveloped, but other than that, solid performances. Viola Davis is just like she's like one of the best character actors working today. She becomes whoever she's playing. She becomes a different person every time she's on screen, and she owns this role. She really does. And the newcomer actress who's honestly the primary focus of the movie, she was great. Lashana Lynch was great. John Boyega was really great. That dude can act. So yeah, yeah. Once again, good, not great. 7 out of 10 for The Woman King. And that brings this edition of Wade Watches to a close. I'm off to see another film that I'll be talking about in the near future. Hope you enjoyed this video.